So I'm Carlos Baquero, and I'm an academic in an industry conference. So I do research in distributed systems, and I teach in University of Porto. Okay, so in my session, it was kind of a history session about peer-to-peer systems. They're not so talked about nowadays. So I try to show that although people don't talk so much about the term, they are still using the technology in many services. So in the design inside the data centers and in many other use cases. So I think it's inevitable that will be relevant. So I think when you do systems design, you need to have a mix of a centralized component and peer-to-peer components. And the centralized component is important often to coordinate and to know which peers you want to contact with and to do this overall coordination. But the peer-to-peer component allows you to operate even if you don't have access to the central authority, or if you have more bandwidth with the peers that are close to you than you have with the central cloud or something like that. Okay, so maybe a different future from the current future. So there was a big hype in the last 2 years. But I think that apart from that, there is very interesting technology being done over there. And one component that I talked in the talk, where they can improve what was done on peer-to-peer systems 20 years ago, is the notion of incentive. So the fact that you can get some currency, it might not have value or not, but the user can accrue some currency by providing a given service to the network. And now there are better mechanisms to kind of track that and to prevent users from just disconnecting once they have the data that they wanted to have. In my talk, we have seen that in the 2000s, there was an explosion of peer-to-peer systems, and there was a very fast evolution of these systems. And as we all know, we are seeing an explosion of large language models and uses of AI. So I cannot avoid mentioning that. So I think it's a little bit when people started using search engines for the first time, they had to learn how to do the good queries to get the results they wanted. So I guess that everyone will have to look at their work and see how they can become more productive by using these tools. So they don't do everything. We need a human behind the wheel still. So we are not in a Terminator scenario yet, although there are flying drones around there. So I guess that everyone should invest in language skills, so in order to do good queries, and specifically in critical thinking. So critical thinking is very important to analyze the results you get, and also to read newspapers and social media and figure out how the world is working. Yeah, as always, this conference is great, very well organized, and Malaga is a great city. And it's really a good way to promoting the city and convincing companies to come and work here. And it's a pleasure to come here.